Hi guys, welcome to this week's Career Connection. So just a reminder, as Lucas said, if you have questions, go ahead and write them in the chat box. Every once in a while, I'll stop our conversation so we can answer your questions. So today we are doing another volunteer opportunity. So the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about volunteer opportunities. Remember when we talk about volunteer opportunities for us to participate in, it gives us those skills that we might not have already practiced. And also any volunteer opportunities that we have participated in look really, really, really good on our resumes. It is experience. So today we're with Adam Blakey, and Adam is going to talk with us about the Blakey Holiday Foundation. Perfect. I just want to make sure I get the title correct. So Adam has a number of different hats that he wears. So some of you may have seen him around. But today we're going to talk about the foundation, and this is a volunteer opportunity. So Adam, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the foundation, how long it's been around?
So we started this on paper around 2016, and it's been rolling ever since. And it started off as just Christmas or holiday season thing, and has transitioned into providing book bags during the like right before school.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the foundation. What do you do? So you mentioned holiday stuff. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So during the holidays, what we primarily do is deliver gifts to kids throughout the entire state of Indiana.
Okay.
And so, I mean, we really don't have a limit. There's no income limit on families. It's word of mouth, and it's whoever's having any type of hardship.
Okay. So about how many bags or how many families do you help per year?
It varies. Honestly, we try to do everyone who comes through each year.
Okay.
And we have been successful each year on getting just about every family who was nominated. But to give you a number, I mean, we range anywhere from 30 to 70 kids.
Wow. That's a lot of kids that are getting Christmas gifts on your behalf. So when we talk about the holiday drive, let's talk specifically about that. We'll talk about the book bags in a couple minutes. So the holiday drive. So how does that look? Where do you get the money? Where do you get the gifts? Who shops for the gifts?
Well, we do a combination of things.
Okay.
This year we have a fundraiser at Sweetwater. It's Friday, November 5th. And we have it'll be a silent auction. It'll be a comedy show all in one, as well as, the main purpose is to raise money. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the donations are from private entities or through Facebook on the public setting.
Okay, and are you looking for donations of toys and games and clothes, or do you want money? What is the best thing for your donations?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Money, obviously, and if there's new toys, new clothes, then absolutely we'll also take those too.
Okay. So a family is nominated, or how does a family get to you that's for need?
So it's word of mouth. So if you know a family or anyone knows a family, you would send an email to the foundation account. Just give a brief summary of what the family is going through. It doesn't have to be super personal, but just say, hey, this family is going through this. And I'd like to nominate this family.
Okay, so the family's nominated, and then behind the scenes, the family is chosen.
Yes.
Okay, so now you have a list of the folks that you're going to take care of for Christmas. So what type of volunteers? What do you need volunteers to do around that Christmas time in order for you to get those families those gifts that you just talked about?
Wrapping gifts.
Wrapping gifts. Okay.
Yes.
Do we need to be professional wrappers?
No. and I'll admit, I don't even know how to wrap at all.
Okay.
I have a foundation that's surrounded around the holidays, and I have no idea how to wrap. Okay. So I sit and look at people wrap.
Okay. So wrapping gifts. So if we were going to have a group of folks come and donate their time to wrap gifts for you, what might that look like? Where would we do it? Do we have to bring our own supplies?
No, I would supply everything from tape to scissors to wrapping paper and everything, and bows and ribbons and name tags. I would supply all that.
Okay.
And we would sit and separate families and then wrap my family.
Oh, wonderful. And so what time of year is this? Obviously, it's at Christmas time. When do you
Mhm.
like to have everything done and completed by for delivery?
Probably like about 2 weeks before Christmas,
Okay.
because what I typically do is deliver the week before, or the week before Christmas.
The week before Christmas.
Mhm.
So if we had a group of students or a group of participants that really wanted to spend a day wrapping gifts, how would we, but not on a weekend, but during the week, how would we go about do that to set that to organize that with you?
That could be. I mean, that would be really, really helpful.
All right.
They would more than likely probably come here, and I'll have some stuff set up and
Okay.
just wrap.
So we could bring a group of 4, 5, 6
Absolutely.
participants
Absolutely.
and everything would be here for us. We could wrap the gifts and move on to
Yes.
something else. Okay. Now, I heard you say earlier when we were talking that you also deliver all the gifts. Now, do you deliver them personally or do you have a caravan of people delivering them?
I deliver them personally.
Aha. Okay. So that's really, really nice
Yes.
for you to be able to touch base with the families and things like that.
Yep.
So if our participants, our group of folks that are watching this, if they wanted to contribute, we talked about new toys and games. Are you looking for clothes or just toys and games?
Primarily toys and games, simply because I don't know from kid to kid
Okay.
what that kid might be into, especially when you get to teenagers. Every
Mhm.
teenager is different,
Absolutely.
and so be primarily toys.
Okay, can you give us some ideas of some small fundraisers that people have done in the past to help raise monies? Then the money's turned over to you to go buy those gifts.
What I've done in the past is work with Flat Top Grill, and they've had like the whole entire day. If you bring a flyer in,
Mhm.
a certain percentage of those proceeds will go to the foundation.
Other than wrapping gifts, is there any type of help you need with like fundraising setup? So the event you're having at Sweetwater on the 5th,
Yes,
can you tell us about what kind of help you would need there?
yes, we're actually looking for about about 8 to 10 volunteers now to help set up, to monitor the donation items, to monitor the food, and just get people to where they need to be.
And what time is that?
That is 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6
Okay.
to 9 p.m.
6 to 9 p.m. So if we have individuals that maybe you and your family or anything else like that, we will make sure that you can have the information to get in contact with the Blakely Foundation so that if you'd like to volunteer for that outside of the time that we spend together at Easter sales, that would be great. So we have that. Um, okay, so let's talk about the bags at school time.
Mhm.
So obviously that's going to be in August, right? 'Cause we all
Yes.
start school here in August, not September.
Yes.
So what does that look like?
So that came about 3 or 4 years ago, and it started out of the back of my truck, and it just progressed into something, and we just ran with it. It was just a simple idea, just supposed to be a 1 year thing, and it just blossomed into something pretty awesome. So primarily, what we do is we have a location primarily on the south side of town because we know that's where the biggest need is. And we get book bags, we fill up with school supplies, and we hand them out to anyone. I mean, and it's not limited to any district; it's anyone who's within the area.
Okay, so if we were gonna volunteer for that, not the day of the handout, but what is the prep volunteer stuff that goes into that?
That's a lot of prep, simply because we fill the book bags with school supplies,
Okay,
and we try to do it by groups, so elementary, junior high, and high school.
okay. And so that would be a volunteer opportunity prior to handing out the bags.
Yes,
We could come and help assemble those bags
Yes.
and put that stuff together.
and I would love if you did that.
Okay, beautiful. So we're gonna put that on our calendars for the beginning of August. So we're gonna reach out to
We actually start like when it comes to the prep part, it's
Yes.
like the end of July.
end of July. Put that on our calendars, everybody.
Yep.
End of July, we're gonna reach out to you to help assemble those book bags.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. That's really great. Okay, do you have a list of things you'd like to be donated for the Christmas? Let's talk about Christmas first because we're approaching that.
I don't have a list because I mean we're honestly open to anything because I mean kids ask for a variety of things.
Okay. So is it like I've done a couple other holiday things. So is it like adopt a family or when you get the family you get a list of everything that they want? How does that work?
A combination of both,
Oh,
because
good.
I do open it up to companies or other families who say, hey, I want to adopt this family, or this, or like you said, they have lists and they buy everything on the list.
Okay. So if we were going to just donate toys and things like that, do you have a list of things that you like, or just whatever we bring, you're going to figure out which family it
Yeah,
goes to?
whatever you bring. Yeah.
Ah,
And
okay.
and if that kid, I'll get something similar to what that kid wants.
Okay, beautiful.
Is there anything that we can volunteer with that's ongoing, or is it just specific end of the year type of thing? What does that volunteer look like?
Right now, it's just specific end of the year, like in the end of July or the beginning to middle of December as far as volunteering. And every time I have a fundraiser, which typically happens in the first week of November, there's always that volunteer opportunity.
Okay, beautiful.
So 3 times a year.
There you go. That's wonderful. That's really good. So it sounds like it's event specific volunteer needs. Anybody that wants to wrap gifts, we'll give you the information to reach the Blakely Foundation so you can come down and wrap gifts for like half an afternoon. And I will tell you, this location is right across the street from Pint and Slice Pizza. So, pizza may be in your future.
And I buy pizza too.
Oh, I was going to say I was going to buy the pizza, but okay, we'll let you buy the pizza.
I'll buy pizza.
Okay. That's a great thing to be able to have as many people as you can get to wrap those gifts so that you can go out and give them. Now you said you go all over Indiana. Are you the only one that delivers all over Indiana?
Primarily, yes. So last year
Okay.
we went down. We had a family down in Jeffersonville,
Okay.
and actually we had 3 families in that area, and we drove all the way down.
All right.
And unfortunately took a wrong turn and found ourselves in Kentucky. So
Yes, happens. It can happen. It
Yeah.
can definitely happen. So Allie, you have I know that you're familiar with the foundation because you and your family have participated. Can you talk a little bit about how you feel behind the camera? Can you talk about what happens with you and your family when you volunteer? What does that feel like for you and the kids?
Inclusive, part of the community, on the giving side and on the receiving side. Networking, there's a lot of networking that goes into it.
I know that Allie has talked about the book bag giveaway. I know that she's been involved with that, and she and her family will donate their time to help pass out book bags on the weekend. So that's when we're looking for stuff to do and things to be able to give back to our communities. Everybody, I want to thank you for your time to join us for Career Connections. Even though it says Career Connections, let's remember that volunteering and giving back is super important. We learn skills. I will tell you, if you're going to come here and you're going to wrap gifts, some of the skills that you're going to learn is communicating, but also being able to put together and work as part of a team, because you would definitely be here as part of a team. All right. Well, I'm guessing that we will see you in December.
awesome.
So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Lucas. Thanks, everybody. Bye.